Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 123 of Bucs UK TV. Happy New Year, Gary, Tim, and Marianna.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
2024 is going to be the year of the Buccaneer because clearly New Year's Eve was most definitely not the day of the Buccaneer. Now I'm going to go in descending order of mouth size. So, Tim, we'll start with you.
Thank you.
Where did this game go wrong?
Well, it went wrong really from the get-go. We came out as a flat team, didn't look really ready to play, whether we'd had too much turkey over the last few days or didn't bother going to practice. We looked like a team that were totally unprepared, and not at all did we take New Orleans too lightly based on the way we were playing, but we just weren't ready. It was very, very, very disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, Gary, obviously, I think there was some, the score of 23-13 is probably a little bit flattering, isn't it?
Yeah, when you think that the 13 came in the last bit of the fourth quarter. I mean, what went wrong with the game? They came out the dressing room. I think that's where it went wrong. We probably should have stayed there. I mean, at one point when we're 20-0 down, quite frankly, we were lucky to be nil. I mean, it was the worst performance all season by a country mile.
Which was disappointing, I guess, Marianna, because we've been building on some momentum, hadn't we? We thought we'd turn the corner. We thought we were coming to form at the right time. We'll go through the units a piece at a time. Obviously, I think as Gary said, 20-0 at one point. For me, it started and finished probably with the offense. Kind of what would your assessment be of the offensive side of the ball?
Yeah, we just couldn't move anything, and in particular, and as we've said in the past, the run game seemed to just completely stop. Which, as you say, over the past sort of 3-4 games, we'd started to improve. It looked like Rashad White was coming out of his shell a bit more. We were getting some yards, but just couldn't seem to get it going. And there didn't seem to be a plan B. There wasn't something else that we'd try. We still kept trying this run up the gut, run up the gut, run up the gut. I think they showed at one point the stats being 16 passes, 15 rushes, and we'd got next to no yards for all those rush attempts. You have to start trying something new, a plan B, and there didn't seem to be a plan B that we had in our pocket to go to.
Yeah, it's annoying. I think in the last few weeks we seem to have been playing around with the offensive line and sort of pulling guards and things to try and open up that run up the gut. And it felt like the Saints were very, very wise to that, and they had these sort of pinching coming in from the outside, so that actually the backs were caught from the side or from behind rather than at the point of attack. Tim, I kind of obviously Marianna's talked a little bit about the run game, but I guess we don't want to spend too long dwelling on this. Baker just didn't seem to be his usual self, did he?
No, he was always under pressure. In fairness to the Saints, they got to him on a consistent basis, as you just alluded to. They rushed a lot from the outside, and we just couldn't seem to create any space at all for him. He played his heart out as usual, avoiding the rush and so on. But the creativity we'd shown over the last 2 or 3 weeks seems to have left the playbook last night, and that was the real disappointing part for me. I thought we were mixing it up nicely, and then we reverted back to type. Whether we were scared to win and so on, it was so much on the line, but it looked like a game in mid-October again, I'm sorry to say. And Baker, unfortunately, had a mid-October game.
Yeah,
his stats look good, but his stats look good, as Gary alluded to, because of the end of the game.
It's hard, isn't it? There's the 54-yarder to Trey Palmer and the 47-yarder to Chris Godwin. 2 passes, 100 yards. If you take that off, it suddenly becomes a little bit more skinny on the stat line. I know football doesn't quite work that way. Gary, I mean, obviously I can't talk about Palmer without talking about fumbles. We did seem to cough up the ball a lot yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah, that was really unfortunate though, wasn't it? The one that you're talking about, the long pass that he managed to catch and then managed to fumble when he hit the ground. That I felt quite sorry for him there. I mean, Rashad White also fumbled as well, didn't he? I didn't
Yeah, it was
imagine
sort of
that.
bashed out as he thought it was going out of
Yeah.
bounds.
Yeah, it was punched out. That was actually a really good play by the defensive back, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, the O-line probably had their worst game of the season. Certainly the second part of the season last night. Baker had absolutely no time at all. So, you know, I had a house full last night watching the game, and you know, we were all saying it was just one of those games. Everything that was going to go wrong, you know, when Trey Palmer had that, you know, when the ball fumbled, when it hit the ground, that type of thing. You know, passes going off fingertips, fumbling the ball. We couldn't get to Derek Carr at all. It was just one of those games, you know. And unfortunately, the Saints, you know, quite frankly, had our number, didn't they?
Yeah, I must admit, in my ignorance, I was there screaming, "The ground can't cause a fumble!" And then, as if by magic, the commentators heard what I was saying and explained why I was being stupid. I kind of think, while I've got you, Gary, let's stick to the special teams side of the ball, because, I mean, it was bland in all three phases. Kamada didn't come out of the changing room either, did he?
Kamada had probably his worst game as a Buck, I think, didn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know what his average was. I didn't really want to look, if I'm honest.
41 with a 36
41.
net, because he didn't get a lot of air on it. The kickoffs I thought were boring and terrible, and
a lot of them were
encouraging
really
returns. Yeah.
Yeah, really short. I mean, why kick it 15 yards short when you're already giving them a head start? You know, kick it to the 2 or the 3. I mean, they're good enough to do that. Special teams, unfortunately, yesterday wasn't particularly special.
Yeah. Marianna, let's flip to the other side of the ball, probably briefly. Other than Antoine Winfield, who I won't hear anyone say anything against, and similarly Levante David, kind of what happened on defense? You're on mute, Marianna.
Essentially the same problem. We just didn't seem to be able to get pressure on them. Again, I kind of lean towards the defense being the more positive side of it than the offense for me, just because I saw still some good things, as you say. Winfield, Diaby, Cansey, again, seeing good things out of them. But the secondary was absolutely awful. And it was 10 yards off. I mean, I saw a post on Twitter just tonight, Twitter, and they were just showing us in third and 4, and standing, 5 yards back off of the line to gain. And what do you expect? They're going to get it. We just seem to let them. It's this bend don't break, but we seem to bend and break. So it's not working. And you saw with the way that New Orleans played man against us, and constantly, got to Evans and kept him out of the game. And then we just go into this zone and we're standing off their players and giving them yards and letting them get 20 yards on a catch. It's so frustrating to watch.
Yeah, bend and break, Tim. That sounds like your knees on park run. So do you agree that's the secondary? Is that the problem?
Yes and no. I always say the game is won in the trenches. You know me of old, of always saying that. And unfortunately, we lost the trench battle on both sides yesterday. We really did. Marianna mentioned Cansey. Yeah, Diaby slightly, but not so much. There just wasn't any consistent play from both sides of the ball. We'd have a good moment. We think, oh, is this it? And then back to, as Marianna said, this thing of lining up 10 yards off the ball, every play virtually, I just can't see it. And pressure just didn't come. And if you haven't got any pressure, Carr can throw all he wants.
Yeah. I think Zion McCollum, though, that's another name we probably haven't mentioned that I would put into the better than average bucket. I thought
he's improving. His tackling is probably the best of our outside backs, to be truthful. But the problem is he's making a lot of those tackles from having been beaten by a couple of yards, unfortunately. He's a very good open field tackler, but he's got to be.
So, Gary, we'll see if it's in the trenches and we're relying on the secondary. This all comes back to Todd Bowles' level of aggression. We know we are a very blitz-happy team, and we know that live by the blitz, die by the blitz. Do you think we've got the balance right at the moment?
I don't know. I mean, I'm all for blitzing, but the problem is we know they're going to do it. So if we know that, so do the other teams. And there was lots of occasions in that game where we blitzed and Carr just found the open guy, and it was the tight end. And I've been on here any number of times saying how tight ends, Greg Olsen over the years, Kittle over the years, Kelsey, they just destroy us because we blitz. There's your space behind the linebackers, bingo. And the problem was that we were blitzing, but we still weren't getting home. There was only one sack, and it wasn't really a sack, was it? Because it was when he got chased out of bounds. Yeah. So, I wanted to see Derek Carr lying on his backside looking up at the sky, and he wasn't.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, so that's probably enough post-mortem. We do have good news for one of 5 people. Our Week 17 prize competition has gone down to the Wheel of Names. So I will bring that up and we will try and make somebody a lucky winner today. Okay, so on the wheel this week, I'm telling you, it's all about the ladies, apart from you, Neil. We've got Kirsty, we've got Carrie, we've got Lynn, and we've got Tabitha. So we wish you all the very best of luck. There can be only one winner, though. Let's see who's walking away with the prizes. Oh, I'm going to have to talk about Adam to get some music on this. We need the dramatic drama. Tabitha Blackmore. Well done. We'll let Stuart know that you are a winner. Congratulations. And we shall get those prizes on their way to you.
Excellent. Congratulations.
Indeed.
It's always nice when there's a bright spot. And actually, Gary, on the competitions this year, how have the Eliminator competitions been going?
Yes, fantastic. The Eliminator pick a team to win was won. It was Nick Fruin and went, 14, 15 weeks, something like that, which is quite remarkable. And halfway through the season, we started the Eliminator pick a team to lose. And who would have thought it's, how hard it is to pick a team to lose, but it clearly is pretty hard. Because we're only in about week 8 of that, 8 or 9 of that competition, and we're down to the final 2, which is Jack Bushby, which is Phil Bushby of this parish's son, and Jill Ferrier. And I believe both picked teams to lose this week's game. So go forward again to next week. So that'll be updated on the forum in the next 24 hours or so.
Fantastic. Yeah, as I say, every week there are prize competitions. If you're not a member, why on earth not? Head over to bucsuk.org if you're in the UK. We would be delighted to have you. As we are delighted to have you, Tim, Gary, and Marianna. Will join us later on this week where we'll be previewing the final regular season game. I'm sure, unless you've been living under a rock, you know that this game is what it's all about. So we'll be back to discuss that. But thank you very much, guys, for joining me. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time, go Bucs.
Go Bucs.
Go Bucs.